Let's bring him in now. Memphis Grizzlies guard, Vince Carter. Vince, how are you?
Hey, what's going on? How you doing? Hey, I'm great, man.
Thanks
How's
for joining
everything?
us. Oh, everything
No problem,
is great.
no
Everything
problem.
is great. Vince, you signed with the Grizzlies, 3 years, $12 million. Why Memphis?
Just a great opportunity. The situation was right. The timing was right. More than anything, people like, oh, he's leaving for the money. No, it's just the situation and timing. It's all about timing in life in general. And I think just the right time, right timing, and the right situation at the moment.
Now, Mark Cuban said that he wanted to re-sign you, but the offer that he could make to you changed in terms of bringing you back to the Dallas Mavericks. What happened with you and the Mavericks?
Just like I said, they were pursuing other guys, and of course, they had the nice offer on the table for Chandler, and It was kind of like a waiting process for me, and it was like, okay, and that's something I wanted to do. I definitely wanted to go back. Everybody knew that. They knew that. I think it was mutual both ways. It's just there again. It was just a timing issue as far as me having to wait to see what happens, and then Memphis coming along, really stressing their interest and wanting me to be a part of their team. So I was like, hey, had a great conversation with everybody, and I was like, let's do it. I talked with my family. Everybody felt comfortable with the situation, and it just sounded right, and it felt right, so I had to do it.
You talked about timing. If, let's just say, the timing was a little different, do you think you would have returned to the Mavericks?
More than likely. You never know. But like I said, throughout the summer, this all, I hadn't talked to any other teams or thought about it because I just pretty much knew that's probably where I would end up. And I think at the end of the day, once free agency hit, that's when teams are allowed to call. And then that's when you kind of hear like other teams' interests. I was like, wow, where's this coming from? It's just a lot of options out there. There's a lot of teams and a lot of situations, and I had a lot to think about, which I was very thankful for. At my age, and there's not many of us left.
Right.
And to really receive phone calls and teams showing interest, it was a great feeling. And to me, I feel every time I step on the court, I'm representing the guys, who are around my age, like Grant Hill. I speak with Grant all the time. He's living through us older guys now. So, I feel like it was a great opportunity. And like I said, I wanted to make the right decision. I took my time, but at the same time, just couldn't pass on a great opportunity.
We're talking to Grizzlies guard Vince Carter. Vince, let's look at the Memphis Grizzlies now. This is a team, 50-plus win team over the last 2 seasons. Obviously, they have size, but some of the needs of the Memphis Grizzlies are wing players. They need wing players, and you're a guy that may fit the bill. Do you feel like you can put the Grizzlies over the top?
I think the opportunity is there, and I'm ready to take on the challenge. I look at what they have already. They've very successful team. I'm a big fan of Courtney. I know him very well. He lives out here in the Florida area. So, and of course Mike Conley, I've always been a fan of, and we've had many battles with them, and I'm just glad that they felt like I can help that team kind of get over the hump. I think they're playoff ready. It's been proven. We know what they can do. So once I get into camp and just learn the system, learn the mentality, and just bring who I am to the table, I think that's a great opportunity. So I'm excited.
What about in terms of roles? Do you know what role you may have with the Grizzlies? Are you going to come off the bench like you did in Dallas? Is there a possibility that you could be a starter?
What something we haven't talked about really. I think it's just whatever. I sat and talked with them before that hasn't even been mentioned. I just said to them, like I told Coach Carlisle day one, I'm just want to do for my team. Whatever they need me to do for the team, I will do. Whether that's start, come off the bench, or whatever. I just know when it's my time to get out there on the floor, I need to be productive and do for my team, and that's just what I want to do. So whatever that entails, I'm all for it.
Now, Vince, one thing that I was surprised by you and kind of shocked, and a lot of people would be shocked by this, but you ranked 7th in terms of three-point shooting. You're 7th in all time. Now, do you think that part of your game is underrated? Do you think people underrate that part of your game, your shooting ability?
Well, I guess it seems so because everybody's shocked. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was shocked to know where I ranked in history. I not something I really look at as far as like my ranking in history. I just lay the groundwork and let the rest speak for itself. And to kind of hear, seventh all time. I'm like not seventh in current players. We're talking about all time. It was just an unbelievable feeling. And to know, we're talking about like the Ray Allens of the world, the Reggie Millers,
right.
Jay Kidd, Jet Terry. There's so many great three-point shooters. Del Curry's, the Curry family. Let's just say that in general. There's so many great shooters, three-point shooters. So I had no idea. I think Del Ellis is in that category somewhere. So this to be named with those kind of guys when everybody always talked about my dunks, but yet here I am,
right.
top 10 all time in three-point shooting. It's an honor. It just makes me go and work on my three-point shooting some more.
Now, Vince, at the end of this deal with the Grizzlies, you will be 40 years old. Do you look at this deal as your last contract? Is this the last contract for Vince Carter?
Who knows? It probably could be, but at the same time, I just take it year by year, and I just accomplish the goal of the year, and that's to stay healthy, play the most games on my team, being the oldest guy. That's the goals that I set for myself, and that's what I'm going to continue to do is just go year by year, regardless of what the contract says. I'm going to accomplish the goals of the year, and who knows? Maybe I can play over 40. I don't know. It's the mornings that's tough.
And you look at it, at the end of this deal, you'll have 19 years in this league.
Right.
You got to go 20. You got to go one more. You got to do 20.
Like I said, it's the mornings are tough. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. For some reason, when I was a youngster and I was drafted into the league, I just wanted to play. I said, hey, playing 15 years would be phenomenal. I've accomplished that goal and still kicking, still able to play at a high level. So we'll see what happens at 40.
I want to go back to you and the Mavericks now. Let me ask you this. You guys played the San Antonio Spurs, lost in Game 7 against the Spurs. Looking back on that series, you hit a big shot in that series. Looking back on that series, do you feel like you guys should have won that series and you let one slip away?
We knew what we were in for Game 7. Well, let's go back. We knew what we were in for in the series in general. We knew we weren't going to be given a shot. I'm sure everybody thought we were going to get swept. Hey, but in our minds, we felt we can compete with anybody. Now, if we could put it together, anything is possible. That's why you work so hard to get to the playoffs for another opportunity. It's a clean slate. It's the series is 0-0, and you play it to the end. And I think that was our approach. Just play it to the end, see what happens. And we knew. I think it was easy for us to really step into the playoffs because we didn't have to worry about people saying, "Oh, it's possible the Mavs can sweep or beat the Spurs." I don't think anybody was giving us a chance. So it was just really easy to go out there and just play basketball. And I think that's what we did. Everybody stuck to the game plan. Everybody was all in, and we just did what we had to do. And we just ran into a tough San Antonio Spurs again in Game 7. We knew they'd been there before, just like we've been there before. But that team's been around a long time together as that unit. In Game 7, so we knew what to expect, but they just hit us first, and the rest is history.
Now, you look at it, ultimately, you want to win an NBA title. That's what you play the game for. But if it doesn't happen, how disappointing will that be for you?
It's always disappointing because that's the thrill and the goal and that dream of just being in that moment is what it's all about. You see the commercials and all these guys who's wearing the championship hat and shirt and then holding up that trophy. That's what it's all about. I just, that's why I play the game, and that's why I still love it for that opportunity, and I've been given the opportunity. So it's kind of hard to say how I will feel. I guess that's the question. That's the question when I'm done. Hopefully at 41, I can answer that, and hopefully in between the time I would have won at least one.
We're talking to Grizzlies guard Vince Carter. Vince, 1999 Slam Dunk Contest, probably the greatest dunking performance of all time. There's Jordan, there's Dr. J. It wasn't a long time ago, but it was a great, great performance.
Thanks.
Let me ask you this. Do you consider yourself the greatest dunker in NBA history?
It's hard for me to sit there and say I am, because I am a true fan of the game and I studied it. And I think watching it and studying it and just repeatedly watching it and waiting for my moment, that's all I really wanted. And I think the rest, I'll let you guys handle that. And I said I wanted to leave it all on the floor, All-Star Saturday night, and be able to walk away saying, hey, I gave them the show that I wanted and I was always dreaming of. And I think I did that. And, I mean,
sure.
For me to I took a chance that night, you know, and I had a routine and a couple of dunks that I wanted to do, and last minute I changed out into what actually happened, and I took a chance, I took a risk, because I had practiced some of those, and some of them I just made up that night, and it happened to work out for me. So I was like, luck was on my side, and I'm done with it. It's all good. But it was a memorable moment, and like I said, I wanted to wow the crowd, and like for instance, the arm in the rim, I wanted to leave everybody speechless, and it worked out. So I mean, and I never tried that. I made that up that night. Like I was like, let's try it. You know, so you know, greatest of all time. I'll just say I know it's probably the top 3 and most entertaining. I think when I watch it, I still shake my head like, what the heck was I thinking, man? You know, doing some of this stuff. If you only knew the behind the scenes stuff, like, you know, I look at it sometimes. I'm like, I remember what I was thinking here. It's like, okay, if I can pull this off, this is gonna shock the world, you know. And that's what I was really going for, just shocking the world. And you know, I think that's what people enjoyed about it. It's like on that stage, you know, doing that type of stuff is great. It was fun, and I think that's what people enjoyed it. So, but it's hard to say. Now, you know, it's hard to come out here and say, hey, you know, I'm the greatest all-time dunker over what Michael Jordan and Dominique Wilkins used to do. Man, it's just tough for that to come out of my mouth when I respected those guys, and I repeatedly, and I do mean repeatedly, watched those guys. That's how old I am. I had VHS tapes and used to watch them over and over and over, just studying, like trying to pick their brains from afar away, like what are they thinking when they did this stuff. That's how I approached it. So it's just hard for me to say that.
Now, you've dunked on many people. You've had a lot of amazing in-game dunks. Do you have a favorite in-game dunk?
Man, no. I know the ones. Of course, you know the ones that I've heard a lot. You know, the Lonzo and my rookie year against at Indiana. The lob dunk from D. Brown at the Clippers when I was in Toronto. I mean, there's a few that I can name off.
The Olympic.
But
the Olympic?
Of course, the Olympic. You know, that's talked about. First time I did the reverse 360 in the game, which a lot of people don't talk about, but that was that was one of the ones that there again on the fast break in less than a second having to decide and just pulling off something. You know, at that time I didn't really care. I was willing to try anything. You know, when you're young and vibrant, you don't really care. You're like, hey, I'll try it. I did it in the game. You know, friends are like, I bet you want to do a reverse 360 in the game. Oh yeah, I bet you I will. You know, so for me that was like stuff like that. You know, of course the Alonzo Mourning dunk and the Olympic dunk and all the other ones I named are, you know, I'm frequently asked about or is always talked about. But that reverse 360 the first time, I remember who we played against. We were playing against Cleveland. T-Mac threw me the ball in the transition. I did the reverse 360 in Toronto against Cleveland. I mean, it's just that was one of the moments for me. You know, also the Dikembe Mutombo, my rookie year, was talked about a lot. So, but see, it's like dunking on big men like that, the greatest shot blockers of all time, in my opinion, like the Patrick Ewing, had the opportunity to bless. Alonzo, of course, we know that. Olajuwon, these guys, like, I look up to these guys, and, you know, I always watch, like, man, if I got that opportunity, boy, that would be the greatest feeling ever. Not David Robinson, you know, those are people that, you know, as far as shot blockers, I was like, yo, if I can dunk on these guys, I just dunked on the best ever. So
right.
I look at it a little different than everybody else because it's like personal goals that I was able to accomplish.
Okay.
You know, and, of course, Alonzo was one of them, so.
That was a nice one. That was one of the better ones. Let me ask you this. Could you do that reverse 360 now?
I could do it, but it probably won't look the same. I probably need 19,000. Like I said, backstory on that. When I tried that dunk in practicing, I was practicing that dunk, I could barely make that dunk. And for some reason, got to that arena in Oakland that night, saw all those people, and I said, hey, I want to pull it out again. And you would think that I was doing that dunk on a regular with ease, and I just took a chance on something that I was struggling with, and it turned out like it is. So if I did it, it wouldn't look pretty.
Okay, all right. We're talking to Grizzlies guard Vince Carter. And Vince, right now you're 27th all-time in scoring in NBA history, 8-time All-Star. When it's all said and done, and obviously you got 3 years left, but do you see yourself as a Hall of Famer?
I'm going to leave it up to – I still have work to do.
Okay.
I still have work to do. So, okay. I mean, we have the guaranteed Hall of Famers in this game. You know, Kobe, AI. You know, I'm talking about, I just named some of the older guys. I know, you know, there's the LeBrons and all that I think that are given as well. But I'm just talking about the guys who are nearing their the NBA careers, the end of them. So I feel like I have work to do. I just want that opportunity to at least play in the NBA Finals, and you know, and it makes sense. I mean, I've accomplished a lot, I've done a lot, and maybe it's enough. But in my mind, I'm gonna wait till I finish playing. I gotta say KG as well. KG's been around a long time.
Okay, for sure.
Paul Pierce, I think, been around. He's guaranteed in my mind. So at the end of the day, I hope it's enough.
Right.
And if it's not, I can live with not being considered a Hall of Famer. You know, because I tell you what, basketball has done a lot for me, has shown me a lot, has introduced me to a lot of people and a lot of opportunities. So, you know, I know it's all based on, you know, how many points you score and all that, but I think I've accomplished a lot and have gained a lot from the game of basketball, which is never talked about. And it's just, I'm always appreciative of my opportunity, first of all, to play this many years and still have the opportunity to play. So
sure.
Hopefully it's enough, you know.
We'll see. And you brought up Allen Iverson, and, you know, I'm a lifelong 76ers fan, so I look back at that 2001
so you recall the battle
series.
in 2001 then.
I do. That was a special battle. I mean,
yes.
You guys scared me, man. You had that baseline jumper. I thought it was over. I couldn't even watch that shot in Game 7. I didn't even watch that shot. I didn't watch it.
I
couldn't watch it.
I thought it was good on the release. Yeah, it felt good until halfway.
Oh, man. I hate to say this to you, but I'm glad you missed it.
Of course. Hey, I can handle it.
That was a special series. I mean, you know, just going back and forth with AI, did it almost like, yo, I got to get 50 points in this game. This guy's getting 50. I got to get 50. Was it almost like that in the back of your head?
I mean, it wasn't like that, but it was like I got to step my game up, you know, to because we're trying to win the series. I mean, we felt like in our locker room, the winner of this series had a great opportunity of getting to the finals. Of course, you had to go through Milwaukee, and who's to say that if I make that shot, we do beat Milwaukee and we go to play the Lakers. Who knows? But at the same time, we felt that we had a great opportunity. We would match up well with them as well. But it was just like, man, I got to step it up. Game 1, you know, he goes crazy. And I just had to respond and do my thing. And it wasn't like, oh, I'm going for 50 and go outside of the flow of the offense and what's gotten us to that point. But I knew when the opportunities were there, you know, I had to take advantage of it. I mean, it wasn't easy, believe me, because Eric Snow, is a pest, and it was tough, and it took a lot. I had to watch a lot of film on figuring out how to get easy shots, easy baskets, because he just was a strong, smart defender, and kind of once I kind of figured him out and got in the groove, it's just tough. It was tough, I just felt unstoppable. Even when the nights that I didn't play well, it felt like I was in my rhythm.
Right. And the thing about
and as
that
I say
series,
that, as you know, Eric Snow had a great Game 7.
I look at that series and, I wanted to play the New York Knicks because I knew throughout the course of that series, not that season, I should say, that the Raptors really matched up well against the Sixers. You guys were a little more athletic than the Sixers, and I think your athleticism bothered the Sixers, and it showed in the series. It was a close series. I look at it, you look at Game 2 in AI, I think he had 54 in Game 2. You look at Game 2, if he needed every point in that particular game in order for the Sixers to win it.
Yeah.
So,
that's what it was in Game 2, because we won. Yeah, we stole Game 1, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went crazy Game 2. And I tell you what, the role guys, and you go through the series, and the NBA the playoffs are all about adjustments. And we knew they were going to adjust and everything. So Game 7, we just wanted to kind of, if we're going to lose, we're going to lose to somebody else. We knew AI was going to get his shots and he's going to put the ball up, but we didn't think he was going to go out there and get 10 dimes. And Jermaine Jones, if you recall, was hitting all these corner threes that killed us.
Mm-hmm.
And Snow hitting some mid-range jump shots. We just had to, of course, we were trying to double team and slow him down, and he's so darn fast, and he was just making the right play, and those guys were knocking down shots, and we had to live with it. And it got down to one darn shot.
It was. I thought you had it. I didn't see it. Well, I stepped away, as I said. But when I came back and saw the replay, I thought, wow, that looked good off his hand, and it
felt good.
It is what it is at this point. But that was a special series, and you guys really went back and forth. Allen Iverson, Vince Carter, great series. We're talking to Memphis Grizzlies guard Vince Carter, and Vince, you're doing some big things in the community with the Embassy of Hope Foundation. Tell us about it.
I started that. That was the first thing I actually started before I bought any car, any piece of jewelry, any house, anything. I started my foundation. It's something that near and dear to my heart, and I enjoy doing for kids. I enjoy helping kids learn about themselves and learn how to choose their path in life. And it's all about believing in their dreams and understanding how to go about it once you kind of figure out who you want to be. And it's been great for us. Just through the basketball camps, through our gala, golf tournaments, just have met some unbelievable people and have learned a lot about, not only myself but others and how they go about life. And I'm just happy that I'm able to, to provide through the foundation college scholarships and opportunity for kids to kind of fulfill their dreams, whatever it may be. For
sure. And fans, make sure you support some of the great things going on with Vince Carter's Embassy of Hope Foundation. Make sure you go to his website, vincecarter15.com. Make sure you also hit this guy up on Twitter at Mr. Vince Carter 15 and support all the great things going on with Vince Carter. Vince, pleasure talking to you, man.
Sir. Thank you, man. Thanks for having me, man.
Of luck. Let's do it again.
You guys had my buddy Gary Owen on, huh?
We did.
That's my guy. Funny guy, man. Funny guy.
Funny guy. Very funny guy.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. Black people love Gary Owen.
Oh, man. And he loves black people.
For sure.
Yeah.
He definitely does. He's got his wife is black. I don't know if you knew that.
Yep. Yeah, I do. That's why I said it. A great family. I've gotten an opportunity to meet the family and meet him and hang out with them before. So, yeah, great guy, man.
Appreciate it, Vince.
All right, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Let's do it again. Take care.
Absolutely. No doubt.